Good morning, this is Paul. Today I'm going to give you a demonstration on how I use my food groups and daily servings sheet. Now I'm going to hold it up to the camera. I've done that a couple of days. I hope you can see it. This is basically where I count my calories. I'm going to track the vegetables, fruits, proteins, starches, and dairy products that I eat. I'm starting with breakfast. Now up at the top, I've written my total number of daily calories, which is the minimum recommended on the food guide pyramid of 1,005. Since I'm working out, I like to do the very minimum. Now you can increase this to 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, or 1,600, depending on the criteria that you come up with. But of course, if your object is to lose, you need to go toward the minimums instead of the maximums. Now I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 3 meals. I divided 3 into 1,005, and I get 335 calories per meal. Now I'm going to start off, as you may notice, I had them listed. Well, water was first, but I'll talk about that later in my next video and my last video about water and resting. But when it comes to the 5 food groups, we have vegetables, fruits, proteins, starches, and dairy. And that's really in the order from lowest calories to highest calories. So for purposes of eating, I'm going to actually start with the higher number, which is dairy. The reason being, I start in the morning, there's more calories there, more I can burn off during the day. So I'm going to start with 1 cup of milk. Now, a cup of milk, according to my sheet, averages about 90 calories. So I'll just pour the milk in here. Okay, I got me a cup of milk. I set the milk aside. Now what I do, I've got my green pen, which represents go or breakfast. The day is starting, so I'm going with the day. So I'm going to go down to my dairy section, and I'm going to circle the number 1. In other words, 1 serving. And I'm going to also go down to the bottom where I have a breakfast tally, and I'm going to write the number 90, representing the 90 calories of that meal. The next thing I'm going to have is a starch moving up the list, because they contain 80 calories. I'm going to have 1 slice of bread. Now, on my sheet it says 80 calories. Now that's just an approximate or an estimate. On this bag the bread's in, it actually says that 1 slice is 50 calories. But to help myself, I go with the very maximum. I'm going to toast that bread. I'll go with the maximum, either or. So my sheet says 80, so I'm going to go with 80. That way it actually helps me. So I add 80 to that 90, and I get a total right now of 170 calories. And of course I'll close the bread back up for another day. So I've got 2 items and about 170 calories. My next item, believe it or not, is another starch. It's a Nutri-Grain bar. I'll eat that. It contains 120 calories. So I'm going to go down to my starches, circle the number 2, that's my second starch, go along with that bread, and I'm going to add 120 to 170, and therefore I'm at 290 calories. Now remember, my total for breakfast was 335, so I've got a few more calories, the difference of what, 45. Well, outside of vegetables, there's really nothing that you can make 45 calories. So I decided to have an apple, which is a fruit. An apple contains, according to my list, a fruit about 60 calories. Well, I don't need 60. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the apple in half. That way, if we do the math, if you take 60 divided by half, or 2, you get 30 calories. And I'll eat the rest for lunch. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to circle the whole 60, since I will consume it for lunch, and I'm going to put 30 under breakfast for a total of 320. And then for lunch, when I I eat lunch, I write it in a different color. I use a different color at lunch. So I'm going to take half of that apple and save it for lunch. I'll simply slide it over there. There's my breakfast right there, along with one slice of toast. It's 320 calories. Now here's how the sheet looks. Notice that now, if you can see that, I've got some green totaling the number of servings in each food group and my total calories, which is 320. I'll see you at lunch.